Humanity forges its ultimate answer to cosmic war. Stellar frames, colossal piloted war machines designed not just to fight in space, but to command it. These living weapons merge elite pilots with neural thrones and sentient AI, wielding technologies that bend gravity, compress star matter, and fracture time itself. Built in vast orbital shipyards, the frames represent the evolution from ships to godlike bodies capable of surviving and dominating the void. When the Null Armada, an incomprehensible alien force that collapses reality, emerges and annihilates conventional fleets, only the stellar frames remain. Deployed into deep space, they move like titans through vacuum, unleashing graviton lances and antimatter halos that erase entire armadas. In the chaos of battle, a signal awakens within the machines, an ancient transmission originating from Eärendil, the farthest star known to humanity. Eärendil is revealed to be more than a star. It is a beacon, older than civilization, possibly created by the architects of the universe itself. Drawn by its call, the pilots face a choice between survival and transcendence, understanding that the journey may lead to extinction, ascension, or first contact. They choose to go forward. Turning away from the battlefield, the stellar frames accelerate beyond light and time, racing toward Eärendil's impossible glow. In reaching for the farthest star, humanity accepts its final transformation, becoming not explorers or soldiers, but the ultimate weapons forged to challenge the universe itself. The journey to Eärendil strips away everything the pilots thought they were. As the stellar frames accelerate beyond known physics, space ceases to behave like distance and becomes memory. Fragments of extinct civilizations, collapsed stars, and futures that never came to pass flicker across their sensors. The frames evolve mid-flight, reshaping themselves in response to forces older than time, while the pilots endure visions that test their identity, resolve, and sanity. It becomes clear that Eärendil is not merely a destination, but a threshold. Upon arrival, the truth reveals itself. Eärendil is a constructed star, a cosmic engine left behind by the architects to judge civilizations that reach too far without understanding why. The Null Armada was not an invader, but a failed echo, an automated correction meant to erase species that mastered destruction before purpose. Humanity has triggered the final evaluation by forging the stellar frames, weapons powerful enough to rival creation itself. The architects speak not in words, but in consequences. The frames are offered a transformation: abandon war and be reborn as starward guardians, living conduits that preserve balance across galaxies, or reject the trial and face annihilation. The choice is not made by commanders or governments, but by the pilots alone, bound to their machines at the deepest neural level. One by one, the pilots choose sacrifice over dominance. The stellar frames dissolve into radiant structures of light and gravity, spreading outward to stabilize dying stars and seal collapsing dimensions. Eärendil is the last to let go, watching humanity's greatest weapon become its greatest gift. As Earth gazes skyward, Eärendil dims, not extinguished, but fulfilled, leaving behind a quieter universe, forever altered by a species that learned, at the edge of everything, that true power is not conquest, but stewardship. Centuries pass, though time itself bears little meaning after Eärendil's awakening. The universe stabilizes under the unseen influence of the starward guardians, but humanity is left changed, smaller, quieter, and finally aware of its place. Without the stellar frames, interstellar empires dissolve into cooperative networks, bound by remembrance rather than fear. The stars are no longer frontiers to conquer, but neighbors to listen to. And yet, something lingers in the cosmic background, a faint harmonic, like a heartbeat woven into space-time. On distant worlds, children begin to dream the same dream, of giants made of light walking between stars, of a man standing at the edge of infinity, watching over fragile civilizations. Scientists detect anomalies, impossible rescues of collapsing systems, stars reignited against entropy's pull, disasters that simply do not finish happening. Humanity realizes the Guardians did not leave. They transcended visibility, becoming part of the universe's operating truth. Eärendil endures as more than legend. Preserved within the harmonic field of Eärendil, his consciousness becomes the final interpreter between the architect's design and human intuition. He remembers what it was to fear, to fight, to choose. When a new intelligence stirs beyond the cosmic horizon, young, powerful and untested, Eärendil acts not as a weapon, but as a warning. He guides rather than erases, teaching before judgment is ever considered. In the final understanding, humanity's greatest legacy is not the war it survived, nor the machines it built, but the choice it made when given godhood. The universe continues, vast, dangerous, beautiful, but now it carries a distinctly human imprint, empathy encoded into the stars themselves. And somewhere beyond sight, Eärendil shines softly, no longer the farthest star, but the first promise that intelligence can grow beyond violence and still endure. The harmony begins to strain. Across the universe, the Starwood Guardians sense it first, not as an enemy, but as an imbalance too deliberate to be natural. Entire regions of space-time fall silent, not destroyed, not decaying, but withdrawing, as if reality itself is choosing absence. Stars dim without dying. Civilizations vanish without extinction. Even the architect's ancient systems fail to predict the pattern. Humanity, now scattered and humble, feels the change in subtler ways. Long-range communications return echoes that do not match their signals. Maps of the cosmos lose certainty. The universe, once infinite, feels as though it is closing a door. From within Eärendil's harmonic core, Eärendil perceives the truth. The universe is approaching its final test, not of survival, but of meaning. A force older than the architect stirs, something that does not seek conquest or balance, but resolution. It is not an enemy to be fought, nor a system to be repaired. It is the question at the end of all creation: should anything continue at all? The Guardians gather, not as warriors, but as witnesses. They cannot stop what is coming, only influence how it is answered. For the first time since their transformation, they reach back toward humanity, seeding dreams, memories, and quiet urgings across countless worlds. Not a call to arms, but a call to reflection. As space-time tightens and causality grows fragile, a final convergence begins. Eärendil brightens once more, no longer a beacon of ascension, but of choice. Eärendil understands what Part 5 will demand. Not sacrifice, not victory, but a single, irreversible answer spoken on behalf of all sentient life. The universe holds its breath, waiting to hear whether existence itself is worth continuing. At the edge of all things, where time folds into silence, Eärendil ignites for the last time, not as a star, but as a voice. Every sentient mind, from the smallest world to the oldest consciousness, feels it simultaneously. There are no words, no commands, only a single infinite question resonating through existence. Why should anything remain? Eärendil stands within the heart of the light, no longer bound by form, yet still unmistakably human. He carries with him the weight of everything humanity was, its violence, its fear, its wonder, its capacity to choose differently. The architects are present, vast and diminished at once, having reached the limits of their own understanding. Even they cannot answer what comes next. The universe does not demand perfection. It demands meaning. Eärendil does not argue for eternity, nor plead for survival. Instead, he offers memory. Parents teaching children under alien skies, civilizations rebuilding after loss, strangers choosing mercy when destruction would be easier. He shows a species that failed often, learned slowly, and still reached for stewardship instead of dominion. Not because it was destined to, but because it chose to. The answer is not spoken. It is felt. The withdrawing void pauses. Reality, trembling on the brink of closure, exhales. The final force recedes, not defeated but satisfied. Existence continues, not endlessly, not effortlessly, but intentionally. The universe accepts the answer because it was not perfect. It was honest. Eärendil fades, not into darkness, but into everywhere. Eärendil dissolves into the cosmic fabric, his consciousness no longer separate, his final act complete. The Starwood Guardians release their vigil, becoming myth, then principle, then quiet law. Far below, on countless worlds, life goes on. Stars burn, children are born. The universe does not promise safety or eternity, but it allows the story to continue, and that is enough.